Priya. Priya Kalra. Hello, Priya.
Right. Hi, Dominic. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for accepting the nomination from our mutual friend, Angela, excuse me, Ms. Angela B. Spragg. And if you don't
Yes,
say
the
it right, she
lovely.
comes after us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. We finally have some chilly weather here in Phoenix. So we're excited to pull out our scarves and our boots and our jackets. It's like one day you're in shorts and then next day you're in jackets. There is no in between over here.
Yeah, with Phoenix, Arizona. This is like one of the heavens on earth, right?
Yes. Except in summer where it's hell.
Summer when it gets really hot and yeah. So, but anyway, thank you for accepting the nomination. And so, for those of you who are watching and you don't quite know what the Self Achievement Network is about, basically, we're an opportunity. And the opportunity is real simple. It's either for people to discover their passion, to share their passion, or to evolve their passion. So, what Priya is going to do is she's going to share about her passion, which is about supporting cancer survivors to tell their stories. And that's the shortened version of, I'm sure, an amazing story that I haven't heard yet. And so, yeah, it was what, about a month ago that you got nominated? Yeah.
Yes, and I know we've been playing. I've been having to reschedule because a couple of things kept coming up, but I'm here today, and I'm so excited for this.
Here
Thank
today,
you.
and I'm over here in the deep west side of Chicago. It's overcast, and I hear there's a big old wave of cold air coming, but it's
Well,
not quite Phoenix, Arizona.
no, although just 2 hours away from here, there is snow in Flagstaff. So you know what? We can just drive up and see snow if we really want to.
Yeah. Well, we have a big old lake over here, so anytime you want to come to Chicago, come in the summertime, though.
Yeah, actually, I have been there in the summertime with a really good friend of ours. Her family is there, so we came with a group of friends. This is before kids, and I remember we were going to go out sightseeing, and it was so cold. We had to stop at a restaurant and do shots to warm us up before we could go out. We're like, we are not used to
Oh
this
boy,
winter, even if it
here
was
we
summer
go.
there.
Shots.
Yes.
Not even the weekend yet. You're talking about shots.
Orange juice shots. What are you thinking?
Oh,
Vitamin C is what
excuse
I
me.
was referring to.
Oh, you're great. So tell us what. So give us the shortened version. Then I'll kind of ask some questions a little bit more in depth about how you started to do this, like supporting people to tell their story. I mean, what do you actually do? You have a podcast. You have a I don't know. Tell us about that.
So I'll take you back to 2017. Early of 2017 is
Okay.
when I would say my life started changing because I started asking the question like, what am I doing on earth? What is my life purpose? I feel like I'm just going along doing the things that I need to do because I was told I needed to go to school, get married, have kids, and I've done all that, but now what? Right? Like, especially coming from an Indian culture, that's what the main goal of a parent is like, okay, educate your girl, get her married to a good husband, and she should have her kids. But after that, the parents didn't know what else to tell us. Now we need to figure that out. So I reached all those benchmarks, and then I started feeling like, okay, no, there has to be more to this, right? I just can't be a mother and that's it. I need to create my identity. I need to figure out what I need to do.
Hmm.
And I started on this spiritual journey. I started meditating. I went on a soul journey to figure out what it is. And then in the interim, my husband was actually, we have business in Zambia, in Africa. That's where I grew up. So my husband would go back and forth, and I was here with our two girls. And the girls were a little old enough; they were going to school. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll go buy a business, be a small business owner. So I did that, and it was going really great. I even became a U.S. citizen, so I had the right to vote. I belonged somewhere.
Hmm.
Life was great. And then in December of 2007, I heard the dreaded words, "You have cancer." So
2007,
from,
17.
sorry, 2017.
Okay.
2017. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Just wanted to
December
check.
of
I am paying
2017.
attention a little.
Thank you.
I'm a guy. I mean,
I'm
I'm
sure somebody is.
2017.
Yes, December 2017, I got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm,
And I took that as an answer to the question I had asked on what my purpose was. And I felt like, okay, maybe this is a certification that I have to go through. That way I can use it. And I didn't know for what I was going to use it. Going through the process of the surgeries, the chemo was definitely brutal, but I knew deep inside that there was a reason why this was happening to me, and I chose to look at that in a very positive way and look deeper than just what was the cancer. I know it was there to teach me something. So through my soul searching and through my spiritual practice of meditation, I learned that the biggest thing that was missing was self-love. And I said, wow, like this was something that I feel like everybody is doesn't even think about it. We are all so busy running in the rat race. We need to do this, we need to do that, we need to get stuff done, and always doing stuff for other people. But what about ourselves? When do
mhm.
we stop and think about ourselves? So that's when it all started for me. I started with forgiveness. That was one of the biggest thing, was forgiving people who maybe hurt you intentionally, unintentionally, so that way you don't have to carry those grudges, and asking for forgiveness for people for who you hurt, again, willingly, obviously unwillingly, and it's not like I was going to everybody, but I intention was there to do that through my
Mhm.
meditation. And this is something, you were mentioning as well earlier, right? You had a whole list that you were going through to, you had to get that done before you could move forward. So
Right.
I had to learn to let go of things that were not serving me. That way I could move forward and grow. And that's what, was life changing for me. After I was able to do that, I was told by a woman who was also a survivor, and I always quote her. She said to me one day, she goes, "Do not let your cancer go to waste." And I said, wow, this is something that I really have taken to heart. And I thought that was the universe telling me, okay, it was a confirmation that yes, you went through this experience, you got your certification, now don't let it go to waste.
Wow.
So I was done with my last chemo. I walked out, and the doctor said, "Okay, we will see you in 6 months." And I was freaking out. I was like, "What do you mean in 6 months? I'm not coming here next week,
Right.
hanging out with all of you for my chemo treatment. Like this is what my life has been for the last year. Like you can't
Mhm.
leave me." And that's when it dawned on me that, what, I am not the only one who's going through this. Every person who walks out of that chemo room after the last treatment, they have to figure out how to live their life all over again,
Mhm.
because what we knew of life before the cancer is not what how we can live our life again. It was a transformation. At least for me, it was, how am I going to live my life again? I saw cancer as a second chance to live my life in a better way, in a way that it's going to mean something to me, in a way that I can help other people. So,
Mhm.
with the experience I had, I decided to talk about that on YouTube. And I started interviewing other cancer survivors to learn about what they did. Because if I had that question, I'm sure there's so many others out there who have the same question, who are going through what I have been through. And what is better than learning from other people's experiences? So for me, that's what brought me to being passionate about it, is helping other women, men, understand that, you're not alone. You're not the only one who has those questions. And we can learn from other people's experiences. You never know whose story will be someone else's survival guide.
Mhm. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is truly incredible. And when you said self-love, I didn't for many years refer to that as self-love. I was sitting in a seminar, and the guy was talking about relationships, and he
Yeah.
said, "What is your most important relationship?" And so people were kind of raising their hand, talking about this, talking about that. He says, "Well, it's your primary relationship." And in my head, it was like either with my parents, or was it going to be with my spouse, or whatever. And he said,
Yeah.
"No, your primary relationship is with you."
Hmm.
And it was just like, oh my gosh,
It's
I
like
never
a light bulb,
considered
right?
that
It's like,
I was having, and I could have a relationship, even though, you know, I didn't really think about it. Like, how
yeah.
am I, I mean, I'm married and I'm madly in love with my wife, and everything is just like wonderful. But do I do that for me?
Yeah. Is it selfish to do that for yourself? Yes, it is. But
Yeah.
it's okay because I always use this analogy. In time of an emergency, what does the air hostess say to you? Always wear your oxygen mask first before you put it on to others.
Yeah.
So that is something that I have now just started applying on a daily basis. And I teach that to my kids and everybody because you know what? If it means being selfish, then you know what? Be it. Because at the end of the day, if you do not love yourself, if you cannot set those boundaries for what is acceptable to you, that is, you will not be able to give it out, and you will not know what is acceptable to you and what isn't acceptable to you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, that is like it's a basic building block that I think that gets skipped over when we're younger. I was never taught that.
Yeah.
You know,
None of us were.
right? Oh, treat other people like you would like to be treated. So I was always about treating other people, but I never thought about treating myself that way.
Yeah. And I think I guess the saying, right? Charity begins at home, and that's what it is. It's like you need to learn how to treat yourself because that's how you're going to teach others to treat you.
Mhm. Amazing. The other thing that I really that stuck out for me was when you said somebody said you don't waste your
Your
cancer.
cancer.
Right.
Yes.
So that's kind of was like such a, like when I heard you say it was like very uplifting. Like you can't waste it, and that is
Yeah.
something. Do something with it. Take action with it to give yourself. You froze for a second. I'm giving you a
We
high
did.
five.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, I was like, hello, Dominic.
Yeah, I was saying that's what you're doing. You're using that as your mission and your purpose, and I mean that's what I'm hearing. And I just want to say I like you and I high five you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. So all that was going on, and you must have been flipping out with this whole cancer thing. I mean, the thoughts of just,
Absolutely.
I've not had this happen to me. So I don't know what that's like. I can't even, I mean, I can only think about it. How many people have gone through that and then they just go into panic mode, never
You
ending.
know that, yeah, and it's just that word cancer, because what we associate cancer with is death. It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I heard those words, for maybe a minute or two, it was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my kids? How am I going to tell my husband? How am I going to tell my parents? My husband wasn't even here. He was in Zambia at the time.
Mm,
It was around this time, 2017. Yeah. So like end of November, actually, early December. Um, and I had just actually just gone for a routine checkup to my OB, and that's when she found the lump. And I kind of knew then that this is just not any lump,
mm,
but you're never prepared for something like this, of course. And just that confirmation that yes, it is cancer. My thought was for 2 minutes, okay, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then I was like, okay, let's just do what needs to be done because I cannot sit here and just cry over it and say, why me and how did it happen? Those are answers I'm never going to get. So
right.
why should I waste my time doing that? I still remember that I drove into my garage from a yoga class, and I was just, the garage was shutting down and the phone rang, and I was like, perfect timing. And the doctor's like, hi, Priya, just want to let you know it is confirmed cancer. And of course, after that, whatever she said, I can't remember. It was this mumble jumble, and she's like, and then someone will call you. And I said, okay. I was sitting in my car, and I was like, the minute I walk out of this car, I am not going to think of death, because
Mm-hmm.
obviously that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in and I'm like, okay, let me go get my hair done. Let me go do this. I was not going to stop life. I still had work. I still had my kids. And I called my husband, and he was leaving the next day to fly over to the US. And I was like, I don't know if I should tell him, because I can't even imagine what his flight here is going to be like.
Sure.
But then I had to tell him, because I needed him to tell my in-laws about it face to face, because they were in Zambia. At that time, my parents were visiting India. So I had to call them and tell them. And you can just imagine the kind of freak show
Sure.
you were having over here. But, I think my positive mindset kept everyone around me positive. And that's the feedback I was getting. That's the energy I was getting, because that's the energy I was giving out to
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy to do. And it's not something that also is easily comes to anyone, or, everybody. But I feel like, keeping your mindset positive gets you through a lot that you don't have to face. Stuff like, don't have the anxiety of what if this happens, what if that happens. Even with the cancer I have till today, I cannot tell you what kind of cancer I had, because um, breast cancer, but what type of cancer.
Yeah.
I refused to do any research. I was like, I'm not going to sit there and start anticipating these side effects that other people have had, because I'm a different person. My side effects will be very different. And I'm very grateful that everything went smoothly for me. Even the chemo treatments went smoothly. Yes, I lost the hair. I had a lot of things that I would have never experienced otherwise. But I
Mm-hmm.
took it. I just laughed and went along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And technology these days is really amazing. I think that it's
Yeah.
not to belittle, having the cancer come, but there's a lot of things that can do. I mean, my sister's has gone through pancreatic. She was diagnosed with stage 1, which is, so I mean, it is about getting checked. I see these things on, all the time, and the mammograms and all this stuff, and even guys with prostate, and
Yeah.
it's important to treat yourself, really good, and make sure that you get checked. Because I know people, they don't even go. They're not interested. They don't want to go. I don't feel bad. I don't feel, I feel fine, and they don't go. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, they
And
find.
also they think they're not 40, so they shouldn't be. I was 38 when I got diagnosed. A year after I got diagnosed, my sister-in-law in Zambia, my brother's wife, got diagnosed, and she was only 29.
Mm,
So here we were getting over my stuff, and then my sister-in-law gets diagnosed, and it was like, oh no, all over again. But at least I'm just glad I was there for her to walk her through it, and
mhm.
so.
So now you're the cheerleader.
Yes, I am. And I just want to do what I can to make a difference in this world, and just hope that, I can at least help one person see the light at the end of the tunnel. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be in the cancer. I've had so many other people reach out to me after they've heard my stories, and they're like, you know what, someone's maybe going through a divorce, someone's maybe going, they're like, you know what, it doesn't matter whether it's cancer or what, but the positive mindset and the application is the same for you to go through any life-changing event in your life.
Hmm. So briefly, I mean, have you made a lot of lifestyle changes in terms of your health and taking care of yourself? And what are some of the things that
Yeah.
you've done?
Yes, mind, body, and health, because it all has to work in together. My goal or my mission is to create a space for cancer survivors to come to after they're done with treatments, to figure out how they want to live their life again, because I
Hmm.
feel that is a big part of healing. I mean, you go through everything before, which is all physical. Like for someone for breast cancer, right? I had to get right breast removed, and then I had surgery done. And of course, I've got all these scars on my body, and it's not something that you can forget, because every day you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, okay, this scar is from when I had the cancer. I mean, it's been however many years it's going to be. You're going to be reminded of what you went through. But
Mm-hmm.
how are you living your life today from before that event occurred in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's not just about physical, it's about your mental health as well. It's about, you know, accepting who you are and knowing that you are not going to be the person physically, mentally, what you were before um, the cancer treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's medications that we're on for the rest of our lives. So those medications in itself have side effects. Every time there are new side effects. There's joint pains, there's, depression, there's anxiety, there's everything under the sun. And then to deal
Mm-hmm.
with that, you have to figure out some other medication that you have to take. So I went back to the roots, and I'm like, okay, how can a person get their life back together? And there's I don't know if you've heard of Ayurveda, but
Yeah.
Ayurveda is a very old, Indian
Indian.
technique. Yeah. They treat you mind, body, and spirit, because you cannot just be treated just one thing. It has to be all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I went back and I studied that from the Chopra Center, and I'm hoping to use that and apply it to help others, especially cancer survivors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a Chopra guy. I mean, I've had a lot of his books and CDs and things that I've listened to, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and it's about doing the work. I mean, doing the healthy things. So,
Yeah.
wow, what a crazy journey.
It is. It has been a crazy journey.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
it's not, but I'll be honest, Dominic, that was not the only thing. Before the cancer, uh, my husband, the year my husband and I got married, he actually was diagnosed. He had a hole in his heart. So he had to go through surgery the
oh
year we were
boy,
getting married. Yeah, he had open heart surgery. And then we got married on December 26, 2004, the day of the tsunami. We got married in India. And we
oh
were
my
supposed to go to
God.
Maldives for our honeymoon. And luckily, for us, we got married on the 26th, but it had just changed maybe a couple of weeks before. We were planning on getting married maybe 24th or 25th. If we did, then we would have been washed away. I would have never met you.
Gosh. We forget. I mean, I forgot about the tsunami. I mean, you know, I have friends that were on the other side of
Yeah.
the thing with from Thailand. They were on the opposite side, and yeah, they weren't really affected. But still, just look at how many people were just taken.
Taken away, yeah. And the
Yeah.
resort we were going to stay at was washed away completely.
Oh my word!
So we were saved by by God's grace. Yeah.
Wow, crazy. Okay, so India. So let's talk about India. So you were born in India, and
Yes.
where? Tell us about your childhood and some of your memories.
I was born in Delhi.
Uh-huh.
And then I was 5 when my parents decided to move to Zambia, Africa. Um, I have a younger sister, so she was probably like 8 months at the time when we moved there, and then I have a younger brother who was actually born in Zambia. So growing up was in Zambia, and that my husband's family was there as well. So we kind of grew up together. We all hung out together, but we were not childhood sweethearts at all. So, but we were like introduced in the manner that, hey, we think you guys would be good together. So why don't you think about getting married? So that was a weird first conversation that
Mm,
we had.
okay. It wasn't arranged. It
Well,
was
it was
sort of
it was just
insinuated.
yeah, yeah, you could say that. But yeah, we kind of knew each other's dirty secrets, so it was so weird when we had to like actually have that conversation, like get married. We don't know how this is gonna go, but you know, it worked out great. And actually, I think it actually worked out perfectly because, you know, our parents are back home in Zambia. They're actually live in the same neighborhood, so they're hanging out all the time. And then when we go visit, you know, we don't have to even go too far away. We're all there, so it just works out really well.
I'm having a flashback from last week.
From my sister-in-law.
Yeah, where she
Yeah, yeah, so it's actually
Zambia
her.
again. This whole thing is connected. It's a family
Mhm.
affair.
It is actually her father is the one who introduced me, who thought we would be good together for me and my husband. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. I have a phone call with her today at 4. Oh,
Yeah.
it's all connected. So as a little girl, I mean, so you really were born in Delhi, but then at the age of, you said 8?
5.
5. So Zambia, and then you were there since.
Yes, I was there until at least I was 22, and then I went to London for a couple of years to finish my education, and then got married and moved here because my husband was already here. He was studying at Arizona State University.
Okay. What
Um,
did you study in college? What was your
IT,
IT? Okay.
as one does.
And yeah, right. I mean,
I mean, come on.
from us gringos here in the States, it's like, oh yeah, everybody in India studies IT.
Right.
Exactly. So tell me one thing that you remember from college IT. What is a floppy disk?
Oh yes, I use those. I used MS DOS. I used the floppy disks. I used the CD-ROMs. Everything. They were black in color with a silver metal strap thing. I remember that.
Yeah,
I'm sure our kids will be like, "What is this?"
I go as far back as when I was in the military, in the Navy. We had to physically type in the code, and it was on a cassette.
Yes.
And then we had to take that, and it would go through the wires and would upload it into this thing that was called a computer,
Yeah.
right? That had like, 10K of RAM.
I know that's nothing these days. My dad actually learned the computer on his own. I remember when it had just come out, he used to stay at the office till 8 9 at night learning the computer. He would break it apart, put it back together. He self taught himself like the physical computer stuff.
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
like, it was amazing.
Yeah. So you finished college, so did you ever work in IT?
Um, did I ever work? Yes, you know, when I was here, when I got married and moved here, I worked in consulting, but it was more for for business intelligence, so not really IT, what I went to school for. No.
Yeah, yeah. That's like 99%
That's
of
how
it.
it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So Zambia, tell us a few stories about Zambia. I mean, that's, you know, for when I was growing up, Zambia was a place where everybody was starving.
That's what it would sound like. It is a third world country. You know, we were very fortunate enough to, you know, experience a good life. Um, but it was the roads still have potholes, and they still did when we were there. But we grew up in such a small community because my uncle, my dad's brother, was there, so he invited us to move there. So I had my cousins who we grew up with. So I remember we used to play outside, we used to ride bikes, we used to do everything. Of course, you know, there was no computers at that time when we were growing up.
Hmm.
And it was a fun time. We used to have lots of parties, you know, where the parents would get together and us kids would get together and just have a blast. It
Hmm.
was nothing like what our kids are obviously, you know, learning. They wouldn't even know how to climb a tree over here.
Yeah.
They'd call us weird for doing that.
So you were an outdoors kind of a girl.
Yes. We were,
Yeah.
and obviously there was no other choice. We were forced to do that.
Yeah.
You know, dad would go to work, mom would be at home, and you know, we would go to school. There used to be no television during the day. At 5 o'clock is when the television broadcasting used to start, and I remember it used to start with cartoons. So we used to sit in front of the TV. They'd have the Zambian national anthem go off, and then we would watch our cartoon from 5 to like about 6 o'clock, and then we were not allowed to watch television after that because it was all the adult show after that.
Interesting. So they didn't even broadcast TV.
No, they didn't.
Oh,
Not until 5 o'clock. Yeah. And everything would close at 5 p.m. as well. It would be 8 to 5 were the
Mhm.
working hours, even for stores and everything. So you had to make sure that you got all your groceries and shopping done before 5 p.m.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
probably not really a bad idea.
Right?
Keep everything chill and relaxed, and nobody's, and it keeps them on purpose to get their stuff done. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So then, okay, so you were 20, what did you say? Once you
About
came.
22, I think. 22, yeah, when I went to London to finish off the so in Zambia, my parents lived in a town called Kitwe, which is in the Copper Belt. But after I finished my schooling, I went to the capital, which is Lusaka. It's about 5 hours away from where my parents live, and that's where they had this university where I went and started this certification. But they didn't go all the way to bachelor's. You had to go to London to finish that. So
Mhm.
you know, my dad was like, okay, you know, you have to get a certification, you have to get a degree. So I'm like, okay, I have to. So then
Mhm.
he shipped me off to London all by myself, and it was a kind of a shock, you know, to go to and live there by yourself and try to
I
figure things
guess.
out.
Yeah.
And
So like you get off the plane and there's nobody waiting for you.
no, it was there was obviously it was arranged for, so I had to rent a place at someone's house. You know, that's how, you know, students I guess lived over there, because the university I went to did not have a boarding
Mhm.
facility. So you had to find your own rent. So I was taken to this place, this lady's home, where I rented a room, and had to do my own laundry. I had to use the tube to get from one place to the other, and had to really figure it out. This is coming from a place where I had, you know, we had drivers driving us around, and we had, you know, help at home. So I had to figure it all out, and I think I did okay.
You made it here. You
I did.
and you bypassed the tsunami, so you're good.
I'm good.
And
Yes.
you're dodging corona bullets now. I always say
Yes.
they're
After
raining.
cancer, the corona, you know, I'm like, all right, bring it on. Bring
Yeah.
it on, life.
Wow. Crazy. So this is okay. I was just looking on the map, so I've like got to like locate where Zambia is toward the bottom there.
Yes.
Um, I don't know why it's not focusing, but yeah,
That's it.
right here.
Zambia.
Where's my
Hmm.
finger? Hang on. Right there
Yeah.
where the red is. So this is just north of South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe.
Yes. It's
Interesting.
a landlocked country.
Hmm.
My sister lives in South Africa at the moment. She's married there, and she lives in Cape Town. That's a beautiful place.
Yeah, and I've never the only place that I've ever been there is coming to Kenya. Excuse me, and I've been to Egypt.
Okay.
That's a
Now
gigantic country. It's a huge continent.
it is. Next time you should visit Southern Africa. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of mountains and
Mm-hmm.
trees and
And
yeah.
wineries, and just best of all worlds, and
Hmm.
yummy food.
Yeah, it's food. Okay, so my favorite question: can you cook?
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
can. My I got my passion of cooking from my parents, and my dad loves to cook. He loves to cook Indian, you know, non-vegetarian food, and my mom's really good at cooking the vegetarian food.
Hmm.
So I got the passion from them, and when I was about 18, I started baking. When I was back home, well, probably 16, I would say, and I've been baking ever since. I love to bake.
Hmm.
So that's another passion that keeps coming back to me. I had started doing the baking thing, and then I had stopped, and now through Corona we were forced to, really get back to it. And
Hmm.
I'm getting back into it again. So I'm feeling like, okay, maybe this is something I need to really focus on, because if it keeps coming back to me, maybe I'm the one who's not getting the signs.
Hmm.
So baking is something I love to do. And I've just started pursuing it again. I have a little side thing, I would say. It's called Petite Temptations. And I love baking and putting it on, and people are
Petite
loving it.
temptations.
Yes.
Aha. My mother-in-law just brought me some little temptations, some
See?
chocolate chip butter, peanut butter chocolate chip cookies.
Wow.
About 2 weeks ago, she sent some back with my wife. She was there for a short visit. She came back and she had 3 cookies in a Ziploc bag. And the first thing I said to her, I said, "3? Is that all?"
That's all. Well, these days you got to be healthy, right? So that's why I thought, I'm like, instead of focusing on the bigger desserts, which people do not eat and they're scared of, let's just focus on making them in small. So, compromise on the size, but not on the taste and quality.
So, I mean, what is this? I mean, you have like a lemonade stand out in front of the house, and you sell these petite.
No, people order from me. So, I mean, I have a food handler's license, and,
That's cool.
it's surprising. I thought, it would not, people would not really enjoy desserts, but they do. And right now, our Diwali is coming up, so I'm doing all these fusion cakes and desserts, and I've got people who have ordered little gift baskets for friends and families. So I'm just making use of what is there already and just giving it a different form, if you will,
Mhm.
and just presenting it in a different way, and it's unique. And I think, and I'm so excited about that, I can't even sleep at night, because I'm like, oh my god, I should do this, I should do this. I have so many ideas. And my husband's
Oh,
never been on board with me on this, but I think because he's been stuck here in the US through the whole Corona, he's actually
yeah.
seen how I'm doing it, and he's like, okay, maybe this is, I'm like, not maybe, it is my passion. Please let me just get it out of this my system while you're here.
Wow. So
But
you're the creative. You're like, yeah, I can just imagine these little baskets. Where can I do? Is there like a website or a
well,
page?
it's on Facebook. It's called Petite Temptations. I'll try and pull out a photo up here for you. So I make this little
Temptations.
with a Z at the end.
Z, Temptations.
So let me just show you a photo of a cake that I just made recently. This is a tres leches cake.
Oh my word. That looks horrible.
Yeah, I know, right? You probably wouldn't even want to go close to it.
Wow. Amazing. And those are all fresh, like berries and things like that.
Fresh fruits, yes. I
Yeah,
love to use
nice.
fresh fruits. And this is a little treat that has become a hit. So they're little baskets, and they
Hmm.
have all these little Indian desserts in them. And I call
Wow.
it the taste of Diwali, because you get to taste a little bit of the Diwali desserts.
Uh-huh.
They look like birds' nests. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you have to post the link to that, okay? Because I mean, people are now they're
Abs-
going to be like, I want to order. So
well,
you're shipping all over the planet, right?
Um, sure. I'm figuring that out, because so many of my friends who are out of state are like, okay, what about us? And I'm like, yeah. So it's coming. It's
But you
definitely
can you
coming.
can ship around the states right now.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
wow,
Yeah. So
good for you. Okay,
you want.
so you're doing your thing with your passion, with your getting people to tell the truth. That's on YouTube, right?
Yes, for the cancer, it's on YouTube, and now I've just recently started a Facebook virtual storytelling. Because of COVID, of course, we've all had to be a little bit more creative.
Mm-hmm.
So with the YouTube, I was actually doing face to face, but now I'm doing it on Facebook. It's Conquering Cancer and Beyond is my page.
Ah,
So
okay.
every month, there's a topic, and I have about 4 survivors come and share their side of their story. So it's a virtual storytelling platform for cancer
Hmm.
survivors.
Very good.
Yes.
Excellent. So then you're doing the petite t
Temptations.
temptations, yes. So that's two of your passions. You
Mhm.
mentioned when you sent back your thing is that I have many passions. So here are the other ones. Come on.
Well, other passions, I love interior decorating. That's another thing that I
Please
always
come to my
love.
house.
Oh, I'd love to. Like
Yeah.
so many of my friends have just bought new homes and they're always calling me, what should I do here? What should I do there? And that's also something that, my husband and I have actually found that we both really love to do. So when I was going through my cancer, I always wanted a meditation space. So I remember after my surgery and before we were waiting to know whether I was going to do chemo or not, my husband and I decided to design a meditation space for me. If, I'll have to show you a photo. But we created
Mhm.
this whole wall with little tubes, and we have the Buddha right in front of it. So it's just a perfect serene space for me to go and do my meditation. And it's just gorgeous. So
Mhm.
I love it because I love to come up with the design, and my husband just loves to go. He goes and implements that, and we work really well with stuff like that together.
Awesome. Well, you're invited anytime to come. We're just having these conversations here too because we moved into a townhome, and so different than the house that we had. And now we have this area where it could be, breakfast kind of nook area, and we've gone back and forth. I just actually ordered a
Yeah.
pendant light last night on Amazon because
Yeah.
it has to go over the sink because of its,
Yeah.
fun stuff. That's great. So what you mean? Do you go out biking? Where's your happy place and your me time? What do you do? I mean, meditation or what?
Yes, I'm a morning meditation person, but my happy place is dancing. I love dancing. As a matter of fact, last night we had some friends over and from the neighborhood, and they left, and I hadn't had wine in a while, so I had wine. And my husband goes to bed at 8 because he wakes up at 2. He's working the Zambian hours,
Ooh,
and I had music on, and I was just dancing on my own. I was just feeling happy. I was like, you know what? I haven't danced in so long, and it just brings the happiness back to me. I really love to dance, so that's my happy place for sure.
so okay. Is it traditional Indian music? Is it 70s rock and roll? Is it what?
It's a little bit of everything, but mostly it's the Punjabi Indian music that has the big, the drum beat. Oh my God.
Mhm,
If
mhm.
that's playing anywhere, you will not see me sitting. I will be up and dancing because that's just it just has this is something about the beat that makes me go.
I so understand. Several years ago, I had my own audiovisual rental company in Northwest Indiana, and the Indian Northwest Indiana Medical Association, yeah, they hired me to do their annual whatever they called it. Conference or something like that, right? There were
Uh-huh.
hundreds of people from all over that came to this thing. They catered with Indian food, and Ravi Shankar's brother came.
Okay.
And he was up on the stage, and I'm like, I knew Ravi Shankar was. I'm like, that's his brother or his cousin or something like that. I don't remember, but he had the drums
The
thingy.
tabla?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was on there, and we're all behind the stage, and we're all just like, you know,
Yeah.
it's
And
impossible to
that's
stand
just
still.
yeah, it's just something about that music, and you don't need to understand the language, you don't need to understand anything, but it just when it just vibrates within you, it's just very different.
Yeah, definitely, we have that in common. I've got this big old stereo system downstairs, and I'm always the guy on the controls.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So do you guys go up into the mountains? I know you. So Phoenix is here, but you can get hot. Then there's snow here, and then there's desert over here, and all these. You guys do
Yeah, we go
hiking?
hiking a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, now that the weather's nice, I think the last 3 weeks, my husband and I we've started hiking again. And this
nice.
morning we went on a bike ride just around, there's a canal. So yeah,
Hmm.
we try to stay as fit as possible. My husband, we call him Hitler because he makes sure that I'm getting my workout in. He will bike to somewhere and then hike and then come, and I'm like, dude, I can't keep up with that. My body is still adjusting to all this, Before the cancer, I was very much active, but now I'm just like,
Uh,
I'm not going to force myself. I just taking it slow, but I'm doing what I can.
he's an accountability extremist
Oh my gosh, to say the least.
in the kind way. That's right. Oh, that's great. So you're going to continue to do your little treats, your
Yes,
like,
I think
yeah.
so.
You
A
want to
little
grow
bit of,
that into something like, I mean, you're going to go on Shark Tank or something?
well, it might, you might see me there. I don't know. But I'm not doing anything that someone else hasn't presented at Shark Tank before. And I feel there's always people there who'll relate to you and some people won't, which is fine. I'm focusing more on the fusion desserts right now because that is the in thing. And I think I've found the niche for that. And I've got so many ideas that I'll probably be working on.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, okay, so we're like close to the end here. I would ask the question that I like to ask everybody at the end, the very last question, which is about if we had, let's say, I don't know how many people are watching right now, but if we had every human being on the planet had your full attention right now, so everybody's like, okay, Priya, tell us something with whatever from your. What would you want to say to humanity?
Um, I think I would like to say it's okay to have differences, um, but I think you should just accept that um, and just be human enough to just to love each other and be nice to each other, right? And also just think about yourself as your best friend. And what advice would you give your best friend if they were to go through what you are going through?
Hmm.
That's what
Beautiful.
I would say.
That's
Yeah.
great. It's really true. I mean, I think about how I used to treat myself was really, really bad. And I used to treat people even worse,
Yeah.
being really verbally ick. And, and when I flipped that around, it became, I wouldn't hurt a fly. I mean, I don't even like to, I mean, when there's a spider, I take the cloth and I take them gently and I shake them out the,
Yeah.
the
That's
door.
exactly what I've started doing too. I would take my slipper and like what? I mean, I grew up with cockroaches in Zambia. But yeah, I try to just, guide them to where they need to be, whether it's a fly or a lizard or whatever. Like not killing them anymore. It's not my job to do that.
They're just, I always tell my wife, they're just hungry and there's no food in here. They got to get out.
Yeah.
That's it. So let's
They're
just,
lost.
okay.
They're lost and we can show them their path and their light.
Right. Exactly. Wow. You're amazing. You're awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much. Of course.
so appreciate you. Okay. So, well, um, anytime you want to come back, I know you, yeah, let's just real quick. So this talk life thing that you guys are doing, you and Angela in the Enlighten Up group, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Angela and
What
I
was going
decided to just talk about life. It's just for half an hour. We're not going to take too much time. Just talking about topics that are, that happen in life that we don't really get to talk about. So
on?
it's just views that we both share, and I love the fact that she's in the UK and I'm here in the States, and we get to just share our different views. And thank you, Dominic, for letting us do this on your network, because collaboration definitely is something that helps everybody grow. And
Hmm. You're
thank you.
very welcome. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
the more the merrier. So then it's on Sundays every
Sundays,
month, right?
every Sunday.
Oh, every Sunday. Okay.
Yes,
Every
just half
Sunday.
an hour.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a big commitment. All right. So I have to get that. I can get that into the main calendar in
Okay.
this group here and make sure that it's in there. I need to remember to do that and add the link to that. So I'll do that. And it's just you and Angela. You have guests or no?
Yes, we will probably start getting guests on as well. Um, as we go, we
Yeah.
will
Okay.
definitely.
Great. All right. Beautiful. Thank you again. Have yourself a wonderful day.
You
Thank
too.
you
Thank you
all.
so much, Dominic, for what you
Thank you all
do.
for joining us here. And yeah, so all right. So now it's up to you. Now you're next. You get to pay it forward and right
And
nominate.
recommend people.
Make a
Absolutely.
nomination. Yeah. So we
Nominations,
can.
yes.
Yeah. Put somebody on the spot. I love doing that.
Put someone on the spot and run away. Yes.
That's right. Okay. All right. Be well. Good night.
Namaste.
Have a
Thank you
good
so
afternoon,
much.
and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye for now.